Recording in progress.
Good evening. It is now 7 p.m. I'd like to call the Richland County Council zoning public hearing to order. Madam Clerk?
Branham,
Here.
Pugh,
Here.
McBride,
Here.
Livingston,
Here.
Teratio, Weaver,
Here.
Barron,
Here.
Walker, Mackey,
Here.
English,
Present.
Newton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to note that Councilwoman Barron and Councilwoman English did reach out to me ahead of time to notify that they would be attending tonight virtually, and per our rules, that is acceptable. Next item on the agenda is additions, deletions to the agenda. Director Price?
Madam Chair, there are no additions or deletions to the agenda.
Thank you. Next is the adoption of the agenda.
Madam Chair, move for adoption.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Branham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston, Teratio,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Next is item 5, our open public hearing. We have 2 items tonight. Agenda. First is item 5A. 5A1. Case number 24-004 MA, John T. Bachhaus. Residential transition to general commercial, 10336 Wilson Boulevard, TMS number R14900-03-01. Planning Commission recommends approval. Staff recommends approval. This public hearing is now open.
Madam Chair?
You recognize.
Ma'am, no one signed up to speak for this item.
Thank you. This public hearing is now closed.
Madam Chair?
You recognize.
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Branham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Next is item 5A2, case number 24-014 MA, Eric Norton, residential transition to neighborhood mixed use, 2.60 acres, 1301 Three Dog Road and East South Dutch Fork Road. TMS R 01507-02-03 and R 01507-02-04. Planning Commission recommends approval. Staff recommends disapproval. This public hearing is now open.
Madam Chair?
You recognize.
Ma'am, we have 2 people who signed up to speak. One is the applicant, Mr. Eric Norton. If you can approach the podium, sir. Please state your name and your address for the record, and you have 2 minutes to speak.
Thank you, sir. My name is Eric Norton. My address is 135 Columbia Avenue in Chapin, South Carolina. I'm a lawyer at Harold Martin and Peace, and I represent the owners, Mr. and Mrs. Gardner, who's up here on Clusters LLC. This is a piece of property that sort of ended up with the default zoning of RT. It is sandwiched between a number of commercial properties with some residential properties behind it. We have met with some of the residential folks behind us to try to find something that is least impactful but is commercial. Right now, it's in the RT zone, which is designed towards single-family residential. There has not been a single-family residence built along Dutch Fork Road between Ballantyne and Chapin in many, 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 many years. There's not really any interest in it. The only interest has been on commercial development. So we look for something that would meet the needs. The two biggest concerns we heard from residents were they did not want a gas station there. They're going to get one because it's in the parcel next door to us. There's nothing we can do about that, but that's not our problem. You know, that's not something we can do anything about. The other one was that they did not want to drive through. And so we, instead of going to something more impactful, we went for the MU1 designation because it's one of the very few commercial designations that does not allow drive-throughs. So we tried to do what we could to speak to residents' concerns about commercial development in that area. Obviously, residential development is coming. It's coming to Chapin. I know there are a lot of residents that would prefer it not come at all. Maybe some of us all. I live there. I drive by it every day. My clients drive by it every day. We want it to be safe and we want the traffic to be reasonable. But it does need to be developed commercially and it does need to be developed in a thoughtful way. MU1 seems to be the right commercial zoning classification for this piece of property because it takes care of the two things that are
Mr. Norton, that's your time, sir.
biggest concerns. Thank you for your time.
Madam Chair,
Recognize.
we have one person who signed up that's against the project. That's Jordan Slice Metcalf. Jordan, could you please approach the podium? Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes to speak, ma'am.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Jordan Slice Metcalf and my address is 213 Foxport Drive, Chapin, South Carolina. I'm a resident of the neighborhood adjacent to the property in the second zoning case tonight. I would like to thank District 1's council member, Mr. Branham, for organizing a meeting last week with the property owner and our neighborhood. And thank you to Mr. Norton for answering our questions and hearing our concerns. While I sympathize with the property owners and understand the motive for this request, our area's infrastructure is not equipped to handle further development at this intersection. As stated in tonight's agenda, according to the 2023 SCDOT traffic count, there were 28,200 average daily trips past the property along Dutch Fork Road. That's nearly 3 times what this 2-lane highway was originally designed to accommodate. And there are no plans for improvement. Traffic along this highway is notoriously frustrating and weekday mornings are particularly hard for working families. When school is in session, all cars leaving the drop-off at the elementary school half a mile from this property are forced to turn right. This creates a bottleneck at the traffic light at the corner of Three Dog Road and Dutch Fork Roads. A gas station is already being constructed in the adjacent lot on Dutch Fork Road, which will undoubtedly create further traffic congestion in the immediate area. My fear is that if the corner lots are zoned MU1, the best and highest offer for this property could unnecessarily burden the already overstressed infrastructure. Despite owning a home whose backyard overlooks the woods that belong to the property we're discussing, I realize it won't stay woods forever, and I'm not opposed to the corner being developed. However, the need for improving the area's infrastructure to accommodate the level of traffic it was never prepared to handle and the continuing population growth of our area should be prioritized first. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Chair, that concludes everyone signed up to speak for this item.
Thank you. This public hearing is now closed.
Madam Chair,
You recognize.
I have a motion, but I'd first like to just preface it with a few comments. And I'm really grateful for the 2 speakers today. You can kind of tell that we had a meeting and the 3 of us were all there because you really laid out the conversation really well in a very balanced way. And that's really absolutely what these zoning map amendment decisions come down to, is a balancing. More often than not, it's not crystal clear. This was one that I definitely struggled with in the sense that I spent a lot of time looking over it, seeing if there are better alternatives under the circumstances in that location. And I do specifically want to thank Miss Natalie Peak from the Foxport neighborhood, who wasn't able to be here today, for all her help in coordinating a lot of the conversations that we had last week and also via email and telephone. Again, weighing all these different factors, weighing the setbacks, because in this case, it's a commercial property that's going to back up to a residential property. And of course, it wouldn't be the first time in history that happened, but just knowing that there's an impact there, looking at maximum building heights, how that would compare with the area, looking at the traffic, a very real situation on Dutch Fork Road. And, 1 year ago, we did have an application from the same applicant, which was denied. And one of my greatest concerns was the potential for a drive-through restaurant at that location. This new request does not permit for a drive-through restaurant to be located at that location. This zoning district is a new one under the new land development code, so it's called mixed use. And it's much more restrictive than a general commercial zoning would be, which is important considering the location. General commercial has its place, but not way out Valentine where this property would be located. It does not really make sense for large lot residential to be developed in that spot. It's just, I don't think anybody would want to develop right there. So again, weighing all those things out, I'd like to move for an approval of this application.
Second.
Motion and second for approval. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Walker, Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Item number 6.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. Motion and second to adjourn. Madam Clerk?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.